The biggest race in NASCAR just ended with half the field crashing across the finish line, the pole winner caught cheating, and drivers openly questioning if the sport is broken. This isn't just about one chaotic finish. This is about a cheating scandal that threatened to destroy a championship team, drivers hitting their breaking point with the next-gen car, and a moment that has everyone asking, is NASCAR heading in the wrong direction? The final lap of the Daytona 500 unfolded like a disaster movie. Carson Hocevar was leading when he got turned into the wall. NASCAR didn't throw an immediate caution, they let them race. Chase Elliott surged to the lead off turn 4, appearing poised to steal the biggest win of the year. Then he got wrecked. Behind him, Riley Herbst threw a controversial block on Brad Keselowski, who had a massive run building. Metal started folding everywhere. Cars smashed across the finish line in absolute chaos. Tyler Reddick crossed first, but he didn't celebrate. He didn't know if he'd won. I didn't know if I'd won. I wasn't sure if the caution lights were on, Reddick said after the race. Imagine winning NASCAR's biggest race and being too scared to smile because you think it might get taken away. That uncertainty defines how chaotic and broken the finish felt. Elliott didn't hide his heartbreak. We were leading the Daytona 500 off turn 4, coming to the checkered flag and didn't win. So you tell me, he said, disbelief dripping from every word. Keselowski was furious, calling Herbst's block one of the dumbest things he'd ever seen, believing he had the run to possibly win before it was taken away. Herbst defended himself, saying, I chose my lane, got pushed, was just trying to win the race. Reddick, meanwhile, credited Herbst's move, stating, I don't win that race without Herbst. He did everything right for himself. The debate over who was right became secondary to a bigger question. What's wrong with this style of racing? For Reddick, this victory carried profound emotional weight beyond the chaos. He grew up in California, never missing a Daytona 500 broadcast, dreaming of racing there. His first ARCA test at Daytona felt surreal. Now he drives for Michael Jordan with championship expectations, but 2024 had been tough. No wins, a drought, and self-doubt plagued the team. His newborn son dealt with health issues throughout the season. The only comparable emotion Reddick had experienced was winning the pole at Charlotte Roval when his son was hospitalized. 3 generations of family sacrifice culminated in this moment. Before the race, his son asked him, "Are you finally going to win this race?" That question, that pressure, that legacy, it all came crashing together in a finish where Reddick wasn't even sure he'd won. But the chaos on track was just the beginning. The Wednesday after Daytona, NASCAR dropped a bombshell that threatened to tear apart one of the sport's most respected teams. Chase Briscoe, the Daytona 500 pole winner, was caught with a modified spoiler. The penalties were devastating. Negative 67 points for Briscoe after being docked 100 driver points and 10 playoff points. The team lost 100 owner points and 10 playoff points, and was fined $100,000. Crew chief James Small received a 4-race suspension. Briscoe plummeted from 10th to 39th in the standings. The spoiler base is a single-source NASCAR part that cannot be modified, and the violation was discovered during post-race inspection at the R&D Center in Concord, North Carolina, violating rulebook sections 14.1 and 14.5.8. This marked the second consecutive year the Daytona 500 pole winner faced penalties. In 2024, Joey Logano had an illegal glove during his qualifying run. Now in 2025, it was Briscoe with a modified spoiler. For Briscoe, in his first season with Joe Gibbs Racing after moving from Stewart-Haas Racing, this was a nightmare. His 4th-place Daytona finish suddenly meant nothing. Championship hopes appeared destroyed in Week 1. The earliest he could move into positive points was Race 3 at Circuit of the Americas. JGR immediately announced an appeal, releasing a statement claiming the issue was caused in the assembly process when bolts used to attach the spoiler base to the deck lid caused pre-drilled holes to wear due to supplied part interferences. They argued manufacturing defect, not intentional cheating. The 3-member National Motorsports Appeals Panel, Dixon Johnston, Hunter Nickel, and Kathy Rice, heard the case. JGR presented evidence showing the assembly process caused the issue. The panel made a shocking decision, ruling that the panel believes that the elongation of some of the holes on the number 19 Cup car spoiler base is caused by the process of attaching that specific spoiler base to the rear deck and not modification of the single source part. All penalties were rescinded. Briscoe's 100 driver points and 10 playoff points were restored. The $100,000 fine was voided. Small's suspension was lifted. Briscoe jumped from 39th to 15th in the standings. He posted on social media, "Biggest points day of my career. We're back." Expressing gratitude to NASCAR for the fair process and thanking everyone at JGR who put in countless hours preparing evidence. Joe Gibbs released a statement saying the team was thankful for the process and could now focus on the remainder of the season. The reversal sparked intense debate. Some fans insisted the part was modified, period. Others argued intent matters. This was wear, not cheating. Questions emerged about whether this sets precedent for teams claiming assembly wear for future modifications. The inspection process itself came under scrutiny. Why did it take post-race R&D inspection to find this? Should it have been caught at the track? Did Briscoe gain a competitive advantage that helped him win the pole? Even slight aerodynamic differences can mean huge lap time differences at Daytona. While JGR dodged a bullet that could have destroyed their season, the chaos of Daytona week wasn't over. One driver was involved in controversy at every level, Carson Hocevar. The 23-year-old Spire Motorsports driver is known for his aggressive, no-apologies racing style. He competed in both trucks and cup races at Daytona and Atlanta, leaving a trail of incidents and confrontations. "It's like a video game and I play a lot of those. Confidence is really big here," Hocevar said, acknowledging he probably has some apologies to make. In the United Rental 300 truck race, Hocevar was involved in a multi-car wreck near the end. Cody Ware lost control after contact with Hocevar. During the cool-down lap, Hocevar flipped Ware off. Post-race, Ware charged at Hocevar in a heated confrontation. "That's not cool, bro. I know you don't have to, but that's the problem. You have no respect," Ware said. But the middle finger wasn't what really set Ware off. He has thick skin for that. What crossed the line was Hocevar dooring our race car and tearing up stuff after the race. Ware explained, "Our guys at Barrett Coatings work really hard, man, and they put a lot of hours into this stuff. When we started tearing up race cars after the checkered flag, that's just something I'm not cool with." This wasn't about hard racing. It was about respect for equipment and the people who work countless hours building these cars. At the Atlanta Echo Park 400, Hocevar finished fourth but left controversy in his wake. With 22 laps to go, Joey Logano spun off Hocevar's bumper. Hocevar admitted, "I turned Joey. I didn't mean to do that. It's my racing excuse, like it wasn't my fault, but it definitely was." He said he miscalculated the gap by an inch or two and joked, "I owe him a gift card." On the penultimate restart, racing for the win, Christopher Bell got put into the wall off Hocevar's bumper. Hocevar received a push from Ross Chastain behind him and went for a gap between Toyotas. "I probably could have slowed. I just went for it. It was in my mind, and by time I got there, it was closed up," Hocevar said, admitting, "I don't mean to end their day or destroy their car, sure. I just felt like it was in my best interest to break up the Toyotas." Bell's response was measured but telling. "I haven't seen it. I'm going to keep my mouth shut until I see a replay." "Yeah," Bell said. He added that Bell thought Hocevar would push him, not wreck him, saying, "You never ever expect anything, especially from him." Those three words, "especially from him," spoke volumes about Hocevar's reputation. But Hocevar's chaos is just a symptom of a bigger problem. Drivers aren't just frustrated with each other, they're frustrated with the cars they're driving. Superspeedway racing has become what many drivers call too equal. The next-gen car features equal drag, equal horsepower, and equal speed. The cars are so planted that drivers barely lift in corners. When nobody lifts, the field stays stacked, 3 wide, 4 wide, inches apart. Passing doesn't come from driving skill anymore. It comes from pit strategy, fuel saving, and timing chaos. Drivers feel trapped, unable to separate or create runs without help. Zane Smith summed it up. The help wasn't there. That's Daytona. If the help isn't there, your run dies. You need teammates, pushes, someone else to move first. Individual skill matters less than ever before. Denny Hamlin, who is both a team owner and driver, proposed solutions. They might need to increase speeds and make handling matter again, Hamlin said, suggesting taking spoiler away and slowing cars in corners so drivers have to lift. More lifting means more separation. More separation means more skill, more risk, and less pack dependency. He even floated bringing the clash back to Daytona and letting drivers experiment with a package that eliminates fuel saving completely. Just hang on and drive. This matters because Hamlin sees both sides. He benefits from current parity with Joe Gibbs' resources, yet even he thinks the system needs changing. NASCAR faces a crossroads. Option 1. Accept this as the new normal. Chaotic pack racing, fuel-saving chess matches that explode on the final lap. Fans love the unpredictability. Option 2. Change the car, risk something different, bring back handling and separation where individual skill matters more, though it might lose some excitement. Drivers don't hate close racing, they hate the lack of control. They want skill to matter. They want to race, not manage fuel and wait for chaos. If this is what the Daytona 500 becomes every year, the debate will only get louder. The greatest race of the year shouldn't leave this many people angry. And speaking of legacies, we can't discuss Daytona without acknowledging Dale Earnhardt. February 18, 2001. 25 years since Earnhardt died in the final turn of the final lap of the Daytona 500. Walking around Daytona, his presence remains everywhere. On lap 3 of this year's race, a sellout crowd of nearly 200,000 people stood and held 3 fingers in the air in silence. The statue outside the track was surrounded by roses, mementos, and homemade tributes. "Raise hell! Praise Dale!" echoed through the infield. Tom Long from Little Rock, who drove 1,000 miles to stand at turn 4, said, "I'm not a ghost guy. I don't really believe in that kind of but damn, man. I look out there, and I feel like he's out there looking back at me." Earnhardt's true legacy extends beyond nostalgia. It's safety innovations. He is why drivers are still alive. Roll bars, crush zones, fire-resistant foam, reinforced belts, harnesses, and most critically, head and neck restraints, Hans' device, all emerged from the tragedy. Jimmy Johnson, who never raced against Earnhardt but met him through Ron Hornaday, said, "We all grew up wanting to emulate Dale, wanting to make all of these badass moves, but it's because of his death that led to all of the safety innovations that are in our cars now that we feel like we can try to do that stuff, and if it goes wrong, we're probably going to be okay." Ryan Blaney, who was 7 years old when Earnhardt died, added, "The real legacy of Dale Earnhardt is what he has done for us who race today, and for everyone who has raced since that day 25 years ago. I mean that we are still alive. Hell, we rarely even get hurt very bad." Bobby Dale Earnhardt, Dale's oldest grandson at 38 years old, ran the Daytona ARCA race in a black number 89, mimicking his grandfather's number 3. He finished 9th in his Daytona debut. "When I am out there, I feel like he is out there with me," Bobby said. The last time he saw his grandfather was the day before Dale left for the 2001 Daytona. They went hunting together, and Bobby got his first buck. 25 years later, Earnhardt died in a chaotic superspeedway crash. Today, superspeedway racing still causes chaos, but now drivers survive because of him. Tyler Reddick won an emotional Daytona 500 for Michael Jordan, whose 23XY racing team exists because of NASCAR's growth in the post-2001 safety era. Reddick crossed the finish line in chaos, but walked away safe. That's Earnhardt's legacy. Looking at current standings, Tyler Reddick won the first 2 races of the 2026 season, the Daytona 500 and Atlanta Echo Park 400. He currently leads the championship by 40 points over teammate Bubba Wallace, who secured back-to-back top 10 finishes. Chase Elliott sits 3rd. 23XY Racing is hitting its stride at the perfect time, with both cars performing well and Jordan's investment paying off. Meanwhile, notable struggles include Denny Hamlin in 27th, Christopher Bell in 31st, After the Atlanta crash with Hocevar, Alex Bowman in 32nd, and rookie Connor Zilisch in 36th. Shane Van Gisbergen achieved his best oval finish yet with 6th at Atlanta, improving dramatically in year 2. "We didn't really get stage points on ovals last year, so we're in a lot better position," Van Gisbergen said. Chase Briscoe now sits 15th after the appeal reversal, allowing JGR to breathe a sigh of relief and focus on racing instead of lawsuits. The Daytona 500 exposed fault lines in NASCAR. A cheating scandal, even though overturned, raised questions about inspection processes and competitive advantages. Driver frustration with the next-gen car reached a boiling point, with multiple veterans proposing package changes. Respect issues between drivers, exemplified by Hocevar's weekend, highlighted tensions that go beyond normal hard racing. Tyler Reddick emerged as a championship favorite with dominant early-season performances. And Dale Earnhardt's 25th anniversary reminded everyone why safety must always come first, even when debating entertainment value. NASCAR stands at a crossroads where decisions made now will affect the next decade. Fans, drivers, and teams all have different priorities, and finding balance between chaos and control, entertainment and safety, will define the sport's future. The storm might just be getting started.